What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be opening up some soft boxes. We're trying to upgrade the studio one Amazon package at a time. About 2 episodes ago, we decided we want to get our picture quality a little bit better. So we want to bring our ISO from 3200 down to the native 200 of the GH6 and possibly add a smaller aperture lens as well. Problem with that is whenever you go to such low ISO and a smaller aperture lens, you got to have a lot more light into your scene. And the lights that we had at the time, which was a $50 light kit from Amazon, just really wasn't cutting it. It was 2 helical bulbs, about 100 watts each, and 2 stands and 2 reflectors. I think we paid like $50 for it, but it just really wasn't doing the job. So we had to upgrade the lighting in order to get that higher quality picture and the lower ISO. So we went to the Aputure Amaran 100D for the key light, and you can check out that episode about 2 episodes ago. And then what we found with the Aputure Amaran was we weren't getting enough fill side. It was so dark on the fill side, we had to upgrade the other light to 60XS or at least something, but in this case 60X. We decided to go with the 60X just because it gave us some more options as far as the bicolor goes. So go ahead and check that out on the last episode. But being that we had no kind of diffusion or a softbox or anything like that, we're really getting harsh shadows, harsh light, and it was really kind of really not very flattering basically. So now we're going to be doing the soft boxes and kind of softening up that light a little bit. So another issue also that we had with the 100D is we tried to go ahead and just put a sheet over it to get some diffusion, just basically a cheap remedy to the situation. But when we did that, it was actually burning a hole because of the heat. It was actually burning a hole into the sheet itself. So it's a fire hazard. We don't need that. We need to get some more soft. We need some soft boxes in the situation. So let's go ahead and take a look at the soft boxes that we ordered and what we got coming in. First of all, we're going to start with the fill side. On that 60X, we got an Aputure 6090 softbox. It's a rectangular softbox. It's 60 centimeters by 90 centimeters high. We're going to get that thing opened up and put on the fill side, and then we'll switch over to the key side, which is a SmallRig LA90. That's a 35 millimeter octagonal softbox with a 90 millimeter diameter. So we'll get that plugged in, or get that installed, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like, and we'll kind of do a before and after. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Aputure 6090. It's a rectangular softbox. We're going to use it on that 60XS fill side. So we got your standard canvas bag, and then inside here looks like you got the egg crate material and the actual bones mount or frame. Got a couple of diffusions and the actual softbox outer unit. So let's set the bag to the side. And the benefit of using a rectangular softbox is you can more precisely define where you want your light to go. It gives you some more options about going vertical or horizontal, and you can also use it to mimic basically a window. If you got your actor that is inside and you want it to look like a window is shining on them, you can use a rectangular softbox for that. So what we have here on the main mount or the main frame here is we have a couple of arrows that's going to show us where to mount those these pins here, these rods. But they do give you multiple rod locations here in case you want to, not follow these arrows. You can put them wherever you want. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let's go ahead and put our pins in the mounts. And it is a 60 by 90. It is a rectangle, so we do need to figure out which side is the short side, which side is the long side. It looks like the Aputure, the one that says Aputure, is going to be the long side on each side. So we're going to use the ones that don't say Aputure to be the short side because they are the short side. All right, so we're going to hook those in there, and we'll take the opposite side. This is the fun part where you got to bend it just enough without breaking it to get it into the hole. All right, so we got that guy there. And let's get this last one. I will say this is not the easiest to do. All right, and it's in there. Okay, so there you have the softbox. Let's see if we can pan out on our camera view just a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. There's not much panning we can do, or zooming out, but that'll help us out a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and get each of these rods to, I think the other three, yeah, the other three are already in their corners, but as I was putting it together, that fourth one came out. So let's get it tucked back into its home. All right, so that's in there. So there you go. That is the main box, the light box there. You see the frame on the top there. And let's go ahead and get some diffusion put into it. So they give you, looks like 2 layers of diffusion. Let's open this guy up here. Get a knife without cutting the fabric. And we'll take a look and see if this is the inner diffusion or the outer diffusion. Of course, we're going to determine that by the size. So that is going to be, is that long enough to go on the outside? It is. So that's going to be definitely an outer diffusion. Let's take a look at this one. It feels like it's bigger. So is it just, it might just be a double outer diffusion. I'm thinking that's what we got going on here. It's just a double outer diffusion. So we'll set that one off to the side as well. And we have a smaller bag here. Let's see what's inside that. Of course, their bag, their packaging is like a maze to get through without a knife. But this almost looks like a, maybe, I was going to say a storage bag, but it's not. Okay, I see it. All right, so this one has little hooks that you can hook into the corners down into here. So you hook those hooks into the corner for that first layer of diffusion. I don't know why they would send you 2 outer diffusions, you know, maybe in case you mess one up or something like that. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just putting the hooks on the inner corners, and then we will see, what it looks like. So let's fast forward past this part. All right, so we got that inner diffusion in there, little trampoline. Let's go ahead and get the outer diffusion put on. Outer diffusion is going to have Velcro. So we'll get the Velcro attached to the edges, and we'll put that in fast forward, and then we'll come back in a second. All right, and there you go. You've got outer and inner diffusion in there. One quick note about the outer diffusion system is with the Velcro is that you want to make sure you're using like the inside edge of the Velcro as opposed to the outer edge of the Velcro. Number one, because it doesn't fit on the outside, the outer edge, but also because you need that outer, say 2 inches, to put your egg crate on. Your egg crate, directional diffusion bag thing. Anyway, so make sure you leave that outer inch or 2 so you got a space for your egg crate. All right. So also on the back, you do have Velcro to keep that closed so you don't have light bleeding out the back. So we'll go ahead and close those on up. There's 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. And what's also cool about this system is that they understand that you're going to probably want to go not always say vertical. You might want to switch it to horizontal, but you don't want to remove the whole thing off the light and take it down and flip it around and whatnot. Also if you use just the Bowens mount, you're only going to have basically a 30%, 33% change when maybe you need a 90-degree change. So in order to adjust that, they did include this little screw here, this knob. So you loosen that up just a little bit, and that lets you rotate that Bowens mount around. And then once you get the angle that you want, all you got to do is tighten it up, and that locks in the Bowens mount so it won't move anymore. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the 60X. So I'll go ahead and switch over cameras. All right, so we're going to go ahead and switch over cameras real quick though. Before I do change over, look at the 60X, I just want to go ahead and from this perspective or this angle, let you guys see. Go ahead and get off of there, my guy. All right, what this thing looks like just kind of standing up. So, and again, you have the mount side, the front side, the diffuse side there, and you can turn it sideways and horizontal and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get the 60X over here. I'm gonna mess up my lighting a little bit to get this over here so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag the 60X into the frame for you guys. Let's go ahead and turn it off for now. So we'll kick off the 60X on power. That's gonna work. We lost some light over here, but we'll get it turned on back on here in just a second. So here's our 60XS, and let's go ahead and mount this guy up. You do have the framing here for the Bowens mount, which we'll put the tabs in right there. So let's go ahead and get that turned on. Installed, and put it in the spot there, and we're going to rotate it. I will say that as far as the mounting system for the 60X, it is not as easy as the 100 as far as getting the Bowens on there. So, all right. So also key to note as well is you want to make sure you get the actual baggage, so to speak, wrapped around that Bowens mount on the backpack there. So now that we've got it installed, you can kind of see what it looks like there. All right, let's go ahead and turn the 60X back on. All right, and now it is running. So real quick, off, and then on. Okay, a really nice big light there. And now this light, I think we paid for it probably. I think it was not that expensive. I think it was 53, 56, somewhere around there. So the softbox on this one for $50, basically $53 after tax, maybe 60. It's not bad. Let's go ahead and try to turn it. So that's the vertical setting. Let's go ahead and try to turn it horizontal. So I'm going to loosen up that nut on the back, and then just try to rotate it. There it goes. All right, and then now we have the horizontal configuration. All right, it doesn't look super horizontal there. It looks a little bit off kilter, but we can always loosen up a little bit more and rotate a little bit more wherever we need it to be at. All right. So there you have it. There's a horizontal configuration. All it took was like loosen up the nut on the back. So we'll go ahead and turn it back to the vertical. And then we'll go ahead and set it back as our fill light where it's supposed to be. And because it's a little bit more diffuse now, we may have to increase the brightness slightly. So right now it's on 24%. 24% and 5600. So whereas I had it basically, I'd say probably 3 feet, 4 feet back off to the side a second ago. It's now, right off of camera right here. Right there is where it's at. So it's real close. That kind of helps get the light a little bit closer. So when you're talking about diffusion and how far or close lights are, the inverse square law of lights, basically the farther you get the light, of course, the more dim it gets, but also the more it becomes like a single point in light. So it makes, the farther you move away a light, the more harsh the light becomes. So if you have some diffusion or a softbox like this, you want it to be as close as possible to your actor. So I do have the Cytosap. Let me go ahead and open up the Cytosap real quick. And so I've got the Cytosap. Let's go ahead and I've already got it on the 60X. Let's see if we can increase the brightness a little bit. You see it popping up right there. And we can bring it down just a little bit, just a hair. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. We're just going to work around it. Let's go ahead and switch over to here. Let's go ahead and clear our space. I tell you what, real quick, since we have the egg crate there, let's go ahead and add the egg crate on the box real quick and see what kind of difference does that make. So we're going to do some fancy video magic to make time go by faster, and we'll pop right back in just for a second on the main screen to see what it looks like. So, but this is what your egg crate is going to look like once you get it all fanned out. So we'll go ahead and add that on real quick and be back in just a second. All right, and now the egg crate is on. So I'll just sit here for a second. You can see what it looks like. You can tell that it's basically a lot less, I would say, light spilling everywhere and a little bit more concentrated just right in that one spot. It actually looks pretty good. I actually kind of don't want to do anything else at this point with the light, but we do need to go ahead and get the softbox put on the 100D, which is the SmallRig 35 millimeter LA 90 centimeter octagonal softbox. So we need to get that turned opened up and then put on the key light, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. So let's do that right now. All right, so we have our SmallRig here. Let's go ahead and turn this light around. Yeah. All right, so that's, I just had to move the 60X so we can get some more light on the table there. And I'll actually tilt it down just a little bit. Just a little bit so we can get some more light right on the situation. Okay, so we have the SmallRig. Again, the same type canvas bag. They probably shop from the same manufacturer, to be honest. And you have your main SmallRig unit there. And there's a diffusion bag and a secondary diffusion bag. And then deep in the back is going to be that egg crate there. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble this guy. Now, this one is got some cool features to it because it has this quick release tab here. I'll go ahead and lift it up to the camera so you guys can see it. But it's got a quick release tab right there. So if you pull that back, the Bowens adapter comes off. Makes it a little bit easier because what you're going to want to do other than throw it at your computer is you want to attach this to your light first. And then once it's on your light, then it's just a simple click to click this softbox onto that adapter. So, but we'll leave it on there for now. So all you got to do to get it on there is to slide it into a notch right there on the front, and then click it to the back, and it clicks in. Also, another cool feature about this SmallRig setup is they do have the quick release right there, and all we're doing here to get this thing locked in, you can see it's got that the grip, the handle grip right there. You basically just pull that, and then it fans out, and that's it. That's it. It takes like a tenth of the time that the other one does. So that's basically almost ready to rock and roll, with the exception of the diffusion. Now this diffusion actually goes pretty quick, so I'll walk and talk on this one. We got this one for, I believe it was original price $79. So if you go to try to find it right now, it's going to be $79 on Amazon unless they're doing a sale or something like that. I think we got this one during Black Friday, and so it ended up being $60 or $62. So we got a pretty good deal on it. But this is, if you guys can see this is how simple setting up this first layer diffusion is. It's just a bunch of little Velcro tabs, and you just literally push them on the little Velcro tabs. In my opinion, it's slightly easier than the other one, but here we go. Got it, and we got it. So that is done. It took us all of about 30-45 seconds to get that done. That's not that bad. Same type of outer diffusion, except for this one is octagonal. We will go ahead and fast forward this one. I'll go ahead and get this put on. All right, and there you have it. So let's go ahead and, so there is the back again and the front. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other camera angle. Let's move up our softbox from our for our 60X, so it can provide us a little bit of light over here. We might have to go ahead and increase the output on the 60. All right, it is a 60 in the frame. Yes, it is. Let's back it up just a bit. Get our angle right. What's also kind of crazy about this 60X is that, or I should say specifically about the egg crate, is that it doesn't, you don't even realize that the light is on from the side because no light, you can't see any light coming off the side. Once you put the egg crate on, all the light goes straight to the front. So let's go ahead and increase the brightness on that 60. Trying to judge the lightness from the monitor. It's actually not too bad. We'll leave it where it's at. We'll play around with it here in just a second. But this is your Octagonal SmallRig. It's a big boy. When I bought it, went for the big boy. So this is 35 millimeters, which is a 35 inches, which is a 90 millimeter. It's one of the bigger ones. They do come with even bigger than that, but go big or go home. The bigger the diffusion, obviously the more I would say that it's going to be soft, basically. So let's go ahead and move our key light over here. It's going to distort our light situation on the screen, but we'll roll with it. So here's your key light, and you can see that sheet on there. Let's go ahead and turn that off. What we're going to do here, is because we have the key light off, is we're going to have to increase the brightness on our little guy. Let's see, get him as high as he'll go. He is kind of maxed out, but that's why he's only 60 watts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take our key light. We'll get up close to our fill light, 60X fill light. But we'll get the 100D here, and we're going to go ahead and take that sheet, throw that in the garbage so it doesn't catch our studio on fire. That's the garbage corner over there. And then we're going to grab the SmallRig here. And it's difficult to see, but basically all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start by taking that adapter ring, and we're going to put the adapter ring on first. So we're going to put the adapter ring on the bones mount. Make sure it clicks on there. And then we will put the softbox on there. Let me get the filaments off from the sheet burning on the box there. So let's get that off there. All right, we're going to hook the bottom and press and click. It's on there. Okay, we're going to turn it back on. All right. So there's our big boy softbox key light. We are now safe to not burn the place down. All right, and that thing is really close. Tilt it up slightly, and we're going to go ahead and lift it up. More height on it. Now, when you have a softbox on here, you really, like I said a second ago, you really want to have it basically as close to your actor as you can. That way it gives you that big, full, diffuse appearance. So, fortunately, I do have the Sidus app. Let's go ahead and back this 60X back a little bit. I do have the Sidus app so we can tune the brightness of the light. And what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to go ahead and put the egg crate on for the main key light, and we'll take a look at what it looks like before and after. So this is the diffuseness, so to speak, with the main key light and the fill light on both sides. We're pretty flat here because I've got them basically both at the same output to a certain extent, but we can work with darkening the fill or brightening the key light to really get the contrast if we want to. But right now we're very, very flat looking. So let's go ahead and get the egg crate on there, and then we'll come back here in just a second. All right, so now we're back. So what we have here is we have the key light and the fill light. They both have their diffusion on them. They're soft boxes, and they both have the egg crates on it. So one of the things you can tell that makes a difference with having the egg crates on is that the light does not spill onto the background. You'll see that the background is still very dark, whereas, you know, basically I'm lit up like a Christmas tree. So let's go ahead and adjust the key and the fill to kind of get the contrast and the lighting that we want. Super easy. If you do have the Sidus app, it makes it a lot easier. So let's go ahead and start with let's go ahead and turn the fill light all the way off. So that's gone. And then we're going to adjust the key light to the amount of brightness that we want from the key light. And then once we got the brightness for the key light that we want, then we'll bring up the fill side a little bit to see where we want to go with that one. So I'm going to use the Sidus app. I'm going to switch over to the 100D, which is the key light over here. Right now it's set at 50, which 50 was good whenever it was not diffused. But now that it's diffused and broken up, we need to push some more light through. So we're going to go ahead and amp it up just a little bit. All right, and so now we're coming up, kind of coming off that background a little bit. That's not too bad. So we're going to stick with that. That is at 80% capacity. Let's go ahead and change over to the 60x fill side. And let's go ahead and bring that up. All right, so there you have it. Right now I have basically the 100D at about 65 to 70% over here on my left, but it's literally just right outside of the frame. And then the 60XS is the rectangular one. It's got probably about an arm's length away on this side. And both of them are probably in the range of about 45 degrees from center line. And this one here is about, 35% on the 60 XS. So 35% here, about 70% on this side, and that's giving us the picture that we want right here. We also have a little bit dark in the background, a little bit of darkness in the background. We could go ahead and try to bring out that background just a little bit. We could do that two ways. We could go ahead and put one of these lights, take the egg crate off of it so it kind of lets that light spill towards the back. Or we could go ahead and get another light, say a third light, to basically illuminate that background separately. So on that note, I do have another LED light that will be coming in here before the end of the week. So we'll go ahead and get that light turned on. I think other little couple small knick-knack things that we got from Amazon as well. So stick with us as we keep doing more upgrades, and we'll see what we get next time. And we'll see you guys then.